Hey everybody, it's Craig. Welcome back to the channel. And this video is going to be for everyone who decided not to take the OPM Deferred Resignation and stay with the government. This is for everybody who decided not to take the OPM Deferred Resignation and stay with the government. Listen, I've got a PDF that I've created just for this particular purpose, for this category of people who decided not to take the OPM Deferred Resignation and remain with the federal government. If you want that PDF, shoot me an email. And my email link is in the description and at the end of this video and everywhere else on my channel. And so if you shoot me an email requesting it, just put not decided, and I'll tell you what to put in the subject line, and I will send it right out to you. Okay, I've got 3 phases as well for people who did not take the OPM Deferred Resignation, which is due Monday, February 10th at midnight. And so here we go with the 3 phases. The first phase is reflection and assessment. So if you decide not to take it, you want to confirm your decision. You want to confirm your decision within yourself. And you may be asked by your supervisor, or you may be asked by someone in authority, one of your leaders, did you decide to take the deferred resignation? They might just want to know, just for their own understanding and their own information. If you feel comfortable telling them, which many of you should, if you decided to stay, you can feel comfortable saying, no, I'm not going to take the deferred resignation. I'm going to stay with the federal government. Okay, and then once you have actually confirmed that decision within yourself and externally with other folks, you want to do a self-assessment and reflection. You want to make sure that you look at all of the things within your career, look at everything regarding the job that you're in. Take a note to see if you might want to reclassify in the government, or if you may want to do something different. Start strengthening your resolve to be in the same job duty or designated that you're in, and look at your current role and just do a self-assessment of it, okay? And then you want to sort of ask some questions with regard to your skills and your abilities that you have in your current designator or your current OPM job. And you want to say, am I in the right role? Ask some questions. Is there another role that might be a good fit for me? Is this something that's going to catapult my career to the next level as the government's starting to restructure and redo some things, right? So you want to ask those questions, and then you want to review all of your performance appraisal reviews, right? You want to make sure that whatever it is that you're not doing well at, or whatever it is that you feel like you need to improve, you want to take a look at those performance reviews and see what you can do to improve those things, okay? Now let's move on to phase 2. If you decided to stay with the government, phase 2 is going to be career development and planning. This is an ongoing thing. Just like phase 1, none of this stuff changes, right? If you stay with the government, particularly if you haven't been with the government for a long time, you want to make sure that this is an ongoing process for you, right? To make sure that you develop and plan your career. And within that, underneath that, there's something called individual development plans that the government has. IDPs, you've probably heard of them. In that IDP, it typically asks for your 1, 3, 5-year goal plans. And this is assuming that you'll stay with the government and continue to develop on, right? There's so many leadership programs that the government offers for those who are going to stay federal. And it's not only going to help you as far as promotion and getting more money and things of that nature, but it's also going to help you in your personal and professional development. So you want to do an IDP. You want to do anything you can to enhance your skills, and you want to explore different training opportunities. Explore things within the specific job designated that you're in, or explore other training opportunities for things like IT or things that you don't typically do in the government. Or if you do IT, you would explore some other project and personnel management areas. Maybe you want to be HR or something like that. The government has all sorts of training under the specific programs that they have. Like there's financial management programs, there's program management programs, project management programs. And then there are also programs under that will, if you work for defense, it'll be DAU. If you work for other agencies, it'll be FAC. I'm told from the latest that I've seen that all agencies are moving toward the FAC program. That's the Federal Acquisition Certification Program, whereas it was split between DIWEA, Defense Acquisition Workforce Initiative Act, and FAC, Federal Acquisition Certification. This is for a lot of the 1102s and some of the contracting personnel. It's now going to be together. And I think DIWEA and FAC, they also do program and project management courses as well. So some of those courses are online, some of those courses are in person. There's levels 1, 2, and 3, and there's professional certifications as well. You may be a legacy person who they'll be at levels 1, 2, and 3. As they move to the new programs, you want to make sure that you've got a good jump on that and make sure you understand where you are with regard to those programs so that you don't miss out on the training. Okay, so those are some things within phase 2, and there are other things like leadership development, mentorship, those kinds of things that you want to make sure that it continues on in phase 2. After phase 1, you've confirmed your decision, you've let leadership know, you've reviewed where you are. In phase 2, you want to review where you're going as far as professional and personal development. Phase 3 is long-term career management and career development. And this becomes a really important thing because the government is going to be a long haul for you. And it's going to be a long haul for you even if you only do 5 or 10 more years. And the reason why that's true is because when you're working as a civil servant, you always have to make these assessments of what you feel like you're missing out on versus what you feel like is valuable. And I say that to say this. There are some civil servants who decide to work for the government for, say, 2 or 3 years, and then they may go get a contractor job, and then they slide right back into the government. Now, I will say that that's kind of how it's traditionally been. That's a strategy. That's a long-term career management strategy. But I will tell you that the way the government is restructuring and the way things are changing in the federal government with regard to how those in leadership and how administrations see the federal government's role in the overall workforce, that may change. So you want to come up with other creative strategies, okay? You want to make sure that if you stay with the government, you be the very best that you can be with regard to your performance management, with regard to staying informed about the changes in government so that you can adapt and overcome whatever resistance or whatever things that might be in your way, obstacles that might be in your way that are resistant to change. You want to make sure you stay on top of all of those things. You want to evaluate and adjust where necessary if you're going to continue to be a government employee, because things are going to change, right? And then you need to, when that change comes, you'll need to embrace that change. Now, those of you who've been working for the government for quite some time, I think that you're kind of used to this, right? You're used to sort of evolving as things change over time. And so this is no different, but this may be a little bit more intense because the shape of how the federal government is seen is changing, right, with this administration. And there are laws, there are particular laws that are about to be on the books probably over the next 4 years, federal court decisions, Supreme Court decisions that will change the face of how civil service and the federal workforce looks, probably, and set precedent for quite a long time, right? So it's really, really important that if you've made this decision to stay with the government, that you understand what those changes might mean and you're able to adapt, overcome, and take a look at where you are. And embrace your role as a public servant. Embrace your role in this particular field that you have chosen, and embrace your role in this particular area of expertise that you have. Because although you can get out there in the private sector and make so much more money, it is important and it is noteworthy for those who have decided to give. Some people have given their life to civil service, right? And if that's you, if you believe that you are built for that, no matter what wind or changes come, no matter what evolves, or no matter what, how difficult it may seem or what have you, then lock into that. Embrace the fact that you are a civil servant, and move on in dignity and power and pride in what you need to do. Okay, and those are my 3 phases for those who have decided to stay in the government. And I want to say one last thing for those who have decided to stay in the government. Do all that you can to maintain your excellence that you've already done. Here's a word of encouragement. Oftentimes we see current situations and circumstances happening, and it starts to mess with our psyche, and it starts to make us think that what we have already accomplished is now nullified because these new things are happening, or maybe we have to make certain adjustments or certain changes. Nothing that you've done before has been nullified. Everything that you've done is still valid, is still noteworthy, it's still excellent, and you have done great service to your country. So I want to remind you of that. I want to encourage you with that. Listen, if you want another PDF of those deciding to stay with the government, shoot me an email. I have my email address in the description, and I will send you a copy of that PDF. It's got many more resources about staying with the government and some things that you might want to do. All right, stick with me. Thanks everybody for subscribing to my channel, and thanks everybody for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. I'm going to continue to keep the content going. I'll continue to follow this story. I'll continue to provide other mental health content that I believe might be useful to you, that I believe may be helpful to you. And I want you guys to stay encouraged that we're on this journey together. All right, remember, live royally and live well. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.